What's good, guys? It's your boy Rocky from the Rocky Kennels again. Today we're gonna be talking about different remedies for different wounds. Okay. First off, I'm gonna show you guys a couple things you need. Won't be no dogs in this video today because I'm not at the farm today. I'm cooling at the house with the kids and things like that. But anyway, guys, just about to point out and show you a couple things that you may need, whether that you're gonna need. You know what I mean, for working stock of bulldogs. You know what I mean? Work a stock of bulldogs. And not all things, you know what I mean, work for different wounds. You see what I'm saying? You have severe wounds, you have wounds that's small lacerations, you know what I mean, and then small little cuts or little scrapes and bruises, you know what I mean? So I'm gonna show you guys a little things you need. So first we're gonna start off with the simplest thing. Boom, gloves. You always need gloves. You always want to keep everything clean. You know what I mean? Maintain your self, your well-being, you know what I mean? Not just the dogs, but your well-being. You see what I'm saying? It's a lot of things out here that could carry over to humans. You know what I mean? As far as diseases and wise and things like that. But another thing is you're going to need gauze. See what I'm saying? Gauze for different lacerations, different things, and that's just the small things, you know what I mean? Then you're gonna need some type of wrap. You see what I'm saying? Some type of wrapping for different wounds. You see what I'm saying? Some things don't always work the same way as you would want them to for different dogs, different wounds, different locations of the wounds and things like that. So you just gotta be extra prepared for all types of situations. But down to the chemicals, okay? But down to the chemicals, my phone had cut out. But a lot of things people use and try to use for the same wounds, and it doesn't always work. And sometimes, guys, it's just not going to work at all. You know what I mean? So we're gonna start from the smallest to the biggest. I got an old can here because I forgot to bring it from the kennel. But this right here is wound coat. Okay, it's a blue lotion spray. It's a dressing. You know what I mean? For horses, ponies, cows, and dogs. You know what I mean? I own a farm, so this is an old one, guys. So, I mean, I think it's still... Okay. We got a little spray. It's empty as hell, but we got a little spray out of it. But anyway, guys, this is wound coat here. Okay? Now, I'm not saying this is a bad thing to use. It's not bad at all to use. It's not bad at all. But what people don't know is it's not for deep lacerations. It's for small cuts and things like that. You know what I mean? Now, you can dress it right after the fact with the blue lotion, which is not a problem, okay? It's not a problem at all. It still kills the bacteria, it still kills the germs. You can find this right here at your local Tractor Supply with no problem. I mean, that's what it is right there, so you guys can see it. But it's an antiseptic, you see what I'm saying? So basically, that right there is just for the necessary treatment on after the fact of the situation of any laceration. That could be the first step that you could use right here to actually, you know what I mean, to go ahead and start to kill the bacteria and things like that. But it's not necessarily for deep open lacerations. You see what I'm saying? And a lot of people get that confused, where they try to use it for deep open lacerations, whether you're hog hunting, whether your dog make a mistake, whether you had a yard accident or anything, you know what I mean? This right here is not per se for deep lacerations. This right here is just a top coating, just to kill the germs right then and there until you could get the dog situated in an area where you need to go ahead and take care of it. You see what I'm saying? But anyway, we're gonna move on to the next one, which will be another wound coat. But this one right here is called, I'm trying to get it up the bag because it's all, there we go. And you can tell this has been used. All right, now your next step from your laceration. Now, when you got a laceration, not a laceration, let's not say laceration. Let's say a cut. You know what I mean? A small cut, or even certain bites on a dog, like flea bites or mites, or you know what I mean, just a dog running around the yard and scrape itself against his dog house or something like that, and you find just a scrape or something. That's when you get your blue coat, and you go ahead and use that. Now this right here is another antiseptic, and it's a wound dressing, but this right here is actual. Now you could take this and put this in a laceration. okay? You can take this one right here and put that in the laceration. It comes, let me see if I can do it one hand here. There we go. Hands all red, but hey, fuck it. Bulldogger for life. But anyway, this one right here actually comes with the stick and basically a continuous cotton swab that you can always use. It's just a pad down there that could basically suck up all that juicy stuff that you want. But that's what it looks like right there. It comes out red. If you can see that coming down the side of the bottom. But anyway, this right here you could take and actually press inside of a laceration, you know what I mean, on some dogs, you know. People don't understand that dogs' bodies are different just like human bodies. All dogs are not the same, so everything does not work on each dog. You see what I'm saying? But you can actually take this right here, which is called the red coat, and you can get that from your local Tractor Supply, and that's for all types of animals as well. But you could use this right here, guys, and that could go on some deep lacerations. You see what I'm saying? It could go on some deep lacerations. It's basically somewhat of the same thing as the blue coating, but it's more better. You know what I mean? Because you can actually get up in there with the actual, basically, you can call that a Q-tip. Just put it like that. But you can actually put it inside the womb and get up in there, you know what I mean? And twirl it around and make sure it's good, you know what I mean? But other than that, though, that right there is another one that you can use for a laceration, okay? You can use that for a laceration. You can use it for burn marks, let me see, for any type of thing that's wrong with the dog. You could basically use that far as wounds and things like that. You see what I'm saying? If the dog got fucking some worms and things like that, you want to use that. You know what I mean? But other than that, though, this is just strictly about wounds and wound dressings and things like that, and what you could do for them and the steps that you could take, because all wounds are not does not have the same remedy. You see what I'm saying? So that's why I call the video different wounds, different remedies. You see what I'm saying? So this right here is your scrapes, small cuts, spray that in, comes out purple, says blue lotion. That's good. Red coat, deeper, a little deeper than a small cut. You can put that in there. That'll heal it right on up within a couple days, man. You'll see a whole lot of progression. But now, this is the last one I'm going to show you guys. And this right here is one that really, really, really helps on, I'm talking about, man, on all types of wounds, all types of lacerations, and I'm talking about deep, deep cuts. You know, when you got a hard mouth dog and that hard mouth dog do a lot of fucking damage, you know what I mean? You could sit there and you could play and you can put the clay up in there. You see what I'm saying? And it's gonna definitely work. But this right here is the next one, okay? Now, this right here is a real good wound care clay, all right? Wound care clay, you can also get that from your local Tractor Supply. Let me give a good view for you guys so you can see exactly what you need to be looking for, okay? This is what the bottle looks like. And it's exactly what you need to look for right here. Now, the wound clay is a lot different. You know what I mean? It's a lot different. And guys, when you use it, you're never using too much. You know what I mean? And when I say a clay is like putting a hole in the wall, right? If you had a hole in your wall, you'd go and get something to fill that hole. And it'll dry up and it'll actually close that hole. Trying to put some gloves on here so I can show you guys something and how you will use this. So I'll be right back. Let me put these gloves on and we'll show you. Alrighty guys, and I'm back and I got my handy dandy gloves on. Okay, suppose you had a deep laceration on your dog, you know what I mean? And I have used this quite a few, and this is probably about my 6th jar this I used. Suppose you had a deep, good laceration on your dog. And like I said, for the walls of things, just like you're filling the wall in. You know what I mean? So I'm going to just pull some of this out and try to show you some of the texture that it is. I mean, you wouldn't be able to, but you can see that it's thick. You see what I'm saying? It got a thickness to it, okay? Got a good thickness to it. And this right here, all you have to do is just get a little chunk of it. Let me put some more of this back in there so I can get it better without actually playing in it, so you guys can see what you can do. If the womb is deep, wherever you got to put the womb in, right? Put it on. You get a good handful of it, okay? Get a good handful of it, and you put it inside the womb, you know what I mean? And it'll come out like you just did some drywall. And that's what it'll look like. It'll just look like the gray is just a piece of the dog's actual skin now. You know what I mean? Or whatever animal that you want to use it on. And after you do that right there, you want to take some gauze, you know what I mean? Take some gauze, put it on the actual wound, you know what I mean? Spread it out, get it layered out. You know what I mean? That's the extra protection. But what you can do, and what I do, I take my blue coating, go ahead and basically clean it out. This is, you could use the blue lotion and the wound coat as an actual as a drench. You see what I'm saying? You could use that as a drench because it's antiseptic. You know what I mean? You could use that as a drench, and then take your clay and put it in the wound and just get it all down in the wound, nice and smooth and all that right there. And that's when you come to your actual wrapping. You know what I mean? They have this at Tractor Supply. You probably get, let me see, 4 or 5 of these in a pack, and it's only, believe it's like $5. You know what I mean? And just one roll works on, you know what I mean, different wounds and multiple dogs. You see what I'm saying? So you have a lot of that. And all you do is just take it. After you take your wound coating spray, you know what I mean? As a drench, like I said, you could use this as a drench right here. Use that as a drench. Take this here. Take the clay, same way, you know what I mean? Put it up in there and get it all in there just like drywall. You know what I mean? Like you're patching a hole in the house or something. And then take your gauze. Put your gauze up there. And then after you take your gauze, oh, shit stuck on my finger. After you take your gauze, you can wrap it. You see what I'm saying? And then, like I said, it works different ways. And another thing I want to explain to you guys, your feeding habits help your animals as well. Okay? If your animal have a deep laceration, you got to think about it. The only thing that you're doing with these items here is working on the outer layer and somewhat of the inner layer. But when you have deep lacerations on dogs or any type of scratches or anything, you will want to overfeed that dog. When you overfeed that dog, the dog's immune system is taking in the proteins that it needs. You see what I'm saying? It's taking the proteins that it needs to actually work from the outside, from the inside out. Okay? So that'll help the actual womb and make this right here work better, is doubling up on the feed that you're using for your dogs. Okay? Some people don't know that. And you know what I mean? And these are some things that you should know. Okay, these are some things you should know. That's why I'm here to help you guys out, man. Feed your dog properly. Okay, when it has a deep wound or any type of laceration, feed the dog properly, because that works from the inside out. And then you have things like this here that's working from the outside in. So you have a better dog and a healthy dog in no time, man. I hope this right here helps you guys a little bit. I didn't want to actually put any dogs up here that had things like that, you know what I mean? Because some people, you know, it's just too fucking much, man, you know? But other than that, guys, this Rocky Killing True Game Dogs, this right here is your blue lotion, this right here is your red coat, and this right here is your clay, is your womb clay, okay? So, this is what these things look like right here, all right? These things what you look like, and always have your gloves, always have your wrap, and always have gauze with you, man. And other than that, as far as penicillin and things like that, that's a whole nother video, and I'll talk about that, guys. Just trying to come up with new things to talk about, you know what I mean, new videos and show you things that people do not show you. You see what I'm saying? But other than that, guys, Rocky Killing True Game Dogs, I hope you guys enjoyed the video as much as I enjoyed teaching you guys things. Like I say, if you're willing to listen, I'm willing to teach. Rocky Killing True Game Dogs.